Welcome to my 8th presentation for the team of purchase and contracts team. The topic is, are you negotiating project completion related clauses comprehensively uh, with the SITC contractor? Now, overall, this is my 82nd presentation considering all the YouTube presentations that I have made so far. So, this is showing that only post completion that we need to have a handshake. What is included in this chapter? 5 aspects have been covered. One is, what are the implications in case project completion checklists are non-comprehensive? 2. What are the 9 key activities that must be carried out before initiating project sign-off? Of course, by the project team. 3. 5 types of checklists to be negotiated by the contract team. These are 5 types are risk avoidance related checklist, critical design and documentation to be collected checklist, regulatory compliance related checklist, final payment release related checklist, and change management and contract adjustment related checklist. Fourth is, what are the common pitfalls in negotiation related to the project completion clause, and what must be included in the agreement to make it robust. 1. What are the 8 implications in case project completion checklists are non-comprehensive? In ICTC contracts, that is by installation, testing, commissioning contracts, the completion of the project isn't just about installation. It is about ensuring the system is fully functional, tested, and commissioned as per the agreed performance parameters. Therefore, the project completion related clauses must be drafted comprehensively with each contractor. Listed below are the 8 adverse implications in case inadequacy of the clauses. 1. Unverified installations. Equipment may be improperly installed, leading to breakdowns and costly rework and penalties. 2. Testing and commissioning gaps. If systems are not tested under real operating conditions, failures may emerge after completing the projects. 3. Payment dispute with the contractor. Delays versus project completion milestones. 4th, legal and warranty issues. Missing clauses and their documentation can weaken contract enforcement and void warranties. 5. Unresolved snag list. Small pending issues can escalate into major operational failures. 6. Post handling handover failures leading to financial losses. 7. Non-compliance with the contract terms. 8. Legal liabilities due to incomplete documentation and non-compliances. Now, these 8 implications are based on my understanding of having negotiated many contracts both in the engineering and manufacturing industry and also in the real estate industry. What are the 9 key activities that must be carried out before initiating project sign off? Of course, this is to be done by the project team. Now, one, obtain the project completion checklist along with 13 type of as-built drawings, which include soft copy plus 3 original hard signed copies from the SITC contractors in the context of India. 2. Takeover of catalogs of the equipment under the scope of the contractor for operations and maintenance purposes. 3. Takeover of the subcontractors and vendors purchase orders, contracts, or agreements signed by the principal contractor for the client's project for future reference. These are applicable particularly when there is a large project contractor who has subsequently assigned many of these subcontracts to his subcontractors, outsource these to subcontractors under his scope. 4th, obtain list and physical availability of the tools, essential spares, documents, and reports in relation to the SRTC work under the scope of the contractor. Collect all warranty certificates with validity periods for all the equipments, etc. supplied. Collect AMC contracts if awarded. 7. Obtain statutory certification and payments made, returns filed in the scope of the if it is in the scope of the contractor. Physical handover of the project to the client, training of the facility management for the equipment operations and maintenance, etc. Now, facility management could be either outsourced or could be in-house. Now, to accomplish the above, the contract team must negotiate with each contractor 5 type of checklist and incorporate these as essential clauses as per the following slides. 5 type of checklists are: 1. Risk avoidance related, having 6 aspects; critical design and documentation collection related, 3 aspects; regulatory compliance and approval related, 4 aspects; final payment release related, 8 aspects; and change management and contract adjustment related, 3 aspects. Now, I'll be covering this one by one. 6 aspects in the case of risk avoidance. Now, The contract team must negotiate and incorporate below clauses. 1. Physical completion verification is essential. 2. Bill of materials quantities approvals certification, testing and commissioning approvals, final inspection and snag list clearances, warranty liability confirmation of supplies related to the contract, and defect liability confirmation for activities related to the installation, testing and commissioning. What I am saying is that these must be incorporated in the agreement, that before the final payment is released to the contractor, following must be complied by the contractor. Clients contents of the checklist for critical design documentation to be collected. Now these are as-built drawings and systems layout related 13 types of document identified, equipment manuals and O&M guidelines, spare parts and inventory list. Now, this is based on my practical hands-on experience when such clauses were not initially incorporated. So there was a lot of difficulty in getting the as-built drawings because the final payment has been made, and therefore the contractor had actually extra charge for these drawings and system layout to be made available. Now, 13 type of drawings and designs, again based on my hands-on experience, are general arrangement drawings. This is in the context of the manufacturing project, and similar can be for the construction projects. Now, one is general arrangement drawings, process flow diagrams, piping and instrumentation diagrams, piping, walls, instruments, control system for processing like cooling, lubrication, and compressed air, etc. for the equipment for the plant and machinery installed, electrical layout diagrams, power distribution diagram, lighting layouts, control panels, cable routing, power requirements for machinery and utility, etc. These are very important for the subsequent maintenance of the plant and machinery for the project. Structural drawings for the laying heavy equipment including material handling, mechanical equipment layouts, HVAC and ventilation drawings, heating, ventilation, air conditioning and ventilation drawings, utility and service drawings, material handling drawings for the conveyors, robots, automatic guide vehicles, etc. and so on and so forth. Control system drawings, fabrication and assembly drawings for custom built equipment, SPM, jigs, fixtures, tooling, etc., which are required under the scope of the contractor, safety and compliance drawings, and detailed 3D models, optional, and if possible, preferably this should also be there. You can imagine, in case these 13 type of documents are not collected, it can really make the maintenance of the project very difficult. Now, contents of checklists related to the regulatory compliance and approvals. These are applicable as and when necessary, and for the different kind of projects. And some projects these may not be applicable. Now, design and plan approvals. Ensure that all drawings, layout, and specifications are sanctioned by relevant authorities. Work in progress approvals. Obtain necessary stage-wise inspection and compliance certification during project execution as per the local regulatory bodies. Statutory returns and fees paid. Verify payment of government levies and local authority fees, and final regulatory sign off. Ensure occupation, etc., certificates, etc., particularly in the context of the real estate industry. Fire safety approvals, pollution control compliances, and environmental clearances and other aspects are secured. 8 aspects related to the final payment release. Before the final payment release, this must be negotiated that the following activities must be complied by the contractor: recovery of the liquidated damages for late completion, retention of the portion of the payment until the final acceptance is confirmed, availability of the performance guarantees with appropriate extended period towards works, package performance and warranties, defect liability post installation, ensuring payment reconciliations, carrying out client's supplied material reconciliation, very important, and recovery of the insurance claims lodged by the contractor on behalf of the client if it was in the scope of the contractor, availability of the formal signing of the measurement book for the works accepted, and complying with all the contract obligations which are listed there. Contract team must this is regarding the change management and contract adjustment related aspects. 3 activities first of all need to be carried out before incorporating the agreement. These are evolving procedure for handling changes in the scope, design, or schedule. This has to be done by the contract person in consultation with the project team, because real knowledge will come from the project team. The technical knowledge will come from the project team specific to the project. Determine Number 2, determine approval process for change orders, and 3, methodology to assess the impact assessment of changes in the cost and timelines. Once the above has been done, the change management related checklist clauses can be easily developed. The three aspects are negotiating and incorporating the below clauses. One, approved variation orders methodology, how to carry out regulatory compliance approvals. And three, updated computation for the amount payable towards changes which have been made. These changes can be with respect to the design of the project, scope of the work, associated bill of materials due to the changes in the scope or the design, installation, testing and commissioning services, associated equipment and manpower because of changes, substitute materials, and excess authorized consumption of the bill of materials. These aspects must be incorporated how this payment will be adjusted. Four common pitfalls in the negotiation related to the project completion clauses. Now, these are vague wording of the clauses. Two, responsibility of the contractors are not defined explicitly. Three, timelines for each milestone, that is supply, installation, testing, commissioning, and handover of the complete projects are not defined clearly in the agreement. And exact procedures, criteria, and authority for acceptance are not defined completely and clearly in the agreement. This has been acceptance of the work will include the bill of materials or the working process and the completed end products. What must be included in the agreement to make it robust? Now, there are 90 clauses which have been identified by this author. Now, the negotiating team must ensure a comprehensive agreement containing one, capturing of the approved scope at each line item level for the supply as also SITC, detailed bill of quantities with rates, prices, and approved brands and escalation methodology, pricing approach for substitute items and extra items. 3. Duration of the agreement, value and validity period, quality standards applicable to bill of materials, equipment, work in process, etc. Project milestones, coordination with the other site contractors, monitoring mechanism. It is in the context of the when the principal contractor is a large one who has been authorized to have subcontractors. 6. Payment and other terms and prerequisite for RA bills, that is running account bills, to passing methodology for the QS, quantity survey, quantity measurements, and certification. Obligation of the contractor and the clients respectively. Define clear escalation and dispute resolution mechanisms. Tender including drawings and specification and clarification. What I am saying is that these aspects must be an integral part of the agreement. Quotes of this approved vendor to whom the contract is being awarded. All communications including those related to the negotiation, pre finalization, and legal and statutory clauses and requirements, compliance updates, confidentiality, health and safety jurisdiction, termination clauses, etc., responsibility for the signing agreements and amendments to the agreements, and so on, who will be carrying it out. Now, as per the compilation by this author, overall a robust agreement must cover 90 clauses related to the inspection, testing, and commissioning based on the above aspects. These are in addition to the 50 clauses which I had earlier shared in my presentations on the related to the materials, domestic materials, and imports. Of course, more clauses can be added based on the industry specific requirements and the package specific considerations. Now, you want to master the contract negotiations? Learn with me. Effective contract negotiation is the key to avoiding costly disputes, project delays, cost overruns, and ensuring smooth project completion. Click on the following links which are there and join my Udemy course on the contract negotiation to gain deep insights into the managing contracts professionally. Now, this course was posted on 28th December 24, and the status as of 31st March 25 is as below. There are 4,362 course enrollments with 4.8 rating on a 5-point scale by 56 students, and the number of views, there are some blogs which are freely available on my YouTube channel, and the total views for the 7 blogs are 1,04,155, which having 3,111 hours, and where the recording time is for the 7 blocks is 1 hour 14 minutes. That means people are actually liking this and benefiting out of this. And then overall there are 12 lakh 18,000 views of my 81 vlogs which are there on my YouTube channel, which include 20,958 watch hours, which includes of course the 7 vlogs as mentioned earlier, for the contract negotiation and 74 blogs related to the business ethics. With some my two books and one of which was ranked number one in Amazon India. Thank you very much and happy learning.